You know, people often say schools are filled with stories, but some of them feel too real to be stories. Two men were talking by the fireplace one night. Old friends, both had studied at boarding schools back in the day. "We had a ghost in ours," one of them said. "Just a footprint on a staircase, shaped like a square shoe. No one knew how it got there." The other man smiled. "Every school has its legends. Kids make up ghosts to keep themselves entertained." "Maybe," the first replied, "but this one, I can't explain." He told the story like this. "When I was around 12, I studied at a big school just outside London. It was an old white house surrounded by huge cedar trees and long fields where we played football. Looked peaceful, but every old place hides something, doesn't it? That year, a new boy joined my dorm, McLeod. Quiet, Scottish, always thinking before he spoke. We became close friends, and a few months later, a new Latin teacher arrived, Mr. Sampson. Tall, pale man with a thick black beard and these cold eyes, like he hadn't slept properly in years. He wore a gold coin on his watch chain, an old one, with strange letters carved into it. GWS, July 24th, 1865. He told us he found it during his travels in Constantinople. But every time someone asked too much about it, he'd change the topic. One afternoon in Latin class, he told us to write sentences using the word memini. It means I remember. Everyone wrote boring stuff. I remember my book, he remembers his father, that sort of thing. But McLeod just stared at his paper, didn't move, didn't blink. So I nudged him under the desk. "Hurry up, man, he's waiting." He jolted, like someone had just whispered in his ear, and then quickly scribbled something. After class, I waited for him. He came out last, looking pale. "What happened?" I asked. "He didn't like my sentence," McLeod said. "What did you write?" "Something weird. I don't even know where it came from. It just popped in my head." He showed me the line, "Memento putae inter quatuor taxos." What the hell does that mean? I think it means, "Remember the well between the 4 yew trees." He said, right before he wrote it, he saw a quick flash in his mind, a picture of a dark, mossy well surrounded by 4 shadowy trees. Mr. Sampson, he said, went silent when he read it. Didn't scold him, didn't say a word, just turned his back, stared at the wall for a while, then quietly asked where McLeod's family lived. Weird, right? The next morning, McLeod got sick. Fever, chills. He was in bed for a week. About a month later, we were back to Latin again, this time making conditional sentences. You know, if this happens, that will happen. Sampson started checking our work one by one. Then suddenly, he froze. His face turned white. He made a low, choking sound and ran straight out of the room. We waited. Nothing. So we all crowded around his desk. There were 17 papers, but only 16 boys in the class. The top paper was different, written in red ink. No one used red ink. And it said, "Si tu non veneris ad me, ego veniam ad te." If you don't come to me, I'll come to you. Everyone swore it wasn't theirs. I took the paper, kept it in my locker. That evening, I checked it again. The words were gone. The page was blank. When Sampson came back later, he looked sick, sweaty, shaking. He said he felt unwell and sent us home early. That night, I was fast asleep when McLeod shook me awake. "Get up," he whispered. "Someone's outside." Look. We crept to the dorm window. Across the courtyard, Mr. Sampson's room had a light on, and someone was sitting on the window ledge looking in. "Who is that?" I whispered. "I don't know," McLeod said. But he looked soaked, like he'd just come out of water. And his skin. He stopped. His skin didn't look alive. We stared for a minute. Then the figure moved. Or maybe the moonlight did. And he was gone. The next morning, Mr. Sampson was gone too. Disappeared. No one ever saw him again. And strangely, McLeod and I never told anyone what we saw. Not once. It's like the words were trapped in our throats. The man finished his story quietly. The fire popped. Nobody spoke. A few months later, one of the listeners, an old friend, was staying in Ireland. The owner of the house showed him a little box he'd found in the garden. Inside was a gold coin on a thin chain. We dug this up last year, the owner said. There used to be an old well here, under the yew trees. Found 2 bodies down there. One had its arms wrapped around the other. Been there for decades. The man picked up the coin. On it were the letters, GWS, and the date, July 24th, 1865. He didn't say a word. He just closed the box and whispered, "Remember the well between the 4 yew trees? Some memories don't fade, they wait."